What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and some Mystic-only hardcore adventures. We are making our way through adventure mode. We're on the Dead Road, so we're starting a brand new fresh zone here. Let's hop on in and get things started. Now, let's see, what do we want to do here on the Dead Road? Let's start up over on this side of the map. We're going to throw, let's see, let's just throw down a wall right there. And then I think we'll just put two Vipers there. And then I think over here, how do we want to do this? Do we want to throw a couple of Serpent's Coils up? We can throw a couple of Serpent's Coils there. How about this side? Now, one of the challenges we're going to have here on this map is, for the most part, the lanes are relatively straight, which means those javelin throwers can get a little bit uppity. Let's see. Let's get a couple of Vipers here. Actually, let's go with 3. That one is a little bit sketchy. You know what? Let me put the third one down behind for anything that makes the turn. We'll go something like that. In fact, you know what? Let's throw another one there too. I like having them back down this way, as it enables them to reach a little bit farther up the lane, so we'll be able to start hitting those enemies way out there. And we can throw we'll throw a couple of coils in right here to help out with anything at the wall. Now, all right, we've spent 290, so we haven't spent very much. Where do we want to go from here? Well, we've got this area. Normally, what I like to do over here is just kind of share the lanes, but since I don't have much range, I don't think I'm going to do that. So let's go Viper's Fang right there. We'll go another Viper Fang right there. And then that will allow us, we're getting our little bit of framiness going on there. Looks like it has recovered. Maybe not. We'll throw a couple of Vipers there. What the hell is going on here? Alright, I feel like it's recovered now. Normally on these fresh playthroughs, without having anything in a stash, etc., the game usually runs super smooth. But for some reason, here lately, not so much. Definitely not so much the case. Well, let's see. We put one in the middle. We know it's going to get nailed by the javelin throwers. So I'm going to throw one down there anyway. We'll throw 2 Serpent's Coils. They're going to get partially blocked by that tree if anything's all the way on the wall. But let's just see how it goes here. And we got a whole lot of leftovers for this area. We'll just go with a Viper's Fang right there. Let's throw a couple of Sand Vipers in the back. Let's throw a couple up front here. Actually, let's go with 3 of them there. And what else do we want to do? Well, we've got an enormous amount of DU left, and not really a whole lot to do with it. I feel like we load up on sand traps, maybe? Throw some sand traps around, something like that. We'll go a couple more there. Still 300 left. Now, if those, I've been crying about it through this whole series, but if the snakes could hit more than one enemy, or if the beams from the snakes could hit more than one enemy, this would be an entirely different experience, because then you could just spam snakes everywhere, and they would just annihilate everything that comes out. But since only one beam can hit one enemy, until we get powered up, and get a little bit more burning power going on here, we're not really going to have the opportunity to do a whole lot with that. Let's see. Let's throw one there, too, to get a little upfront killing in. That leaves 100 left. Not sure what we want to do at this point. I mean, we've got sand traps out the wazoo now. We've got, what, another 80. I mean, we could do something like off to the side here. This will be, you know, one of the intense lanes. Go something like that just for a little more upfront killing. Hopefully those guys don't attract any aggro here. Alright, let's go ahead and let it fly here and see how it goes. Should be a relatively smooth experience. But we'll definitely, you know, after we get past Wave 3, the walls will definitely be taking some damage from those, the javelin throwers. Keep working it out here. Still 200 mobs left. They do come out at a fairly decent clip. But, you know, it's just never fast enough, of course. Get a little Call to Madness going up there. And surprisingly, nothing got destroyed. We got a few things that have gone yellow here. Oh, we got javelin throwers already. I was expected not to really get loaded up on javelin throwers until later waves, but we've got the javelin throwers coming out already. Now, we do have a tremendous amount of skeletons on this map, too. That was just the whole theme of the map when it came out. Alright, so looking good. This was the only area that really took any damage. Let's get a couple of upgrades on that obelisk. A couple of upgrades there. Now, we do have a Petrify combo now. We can, of course, poison with our little dagger toss. And then we've got earth damage on the weapon now. So we do have a Petrify combo if we need it. But let's let it fly and see how it goes. I'm just going to throw another upgrade right there. I actually should have put it... Let me put it on the obelisk instead. Get that obelisk all good and fat. And what do we have taking damage over here? That was the wall. I wonder why these were not shooting. See if anything else gets down. Okay, now they're firing. So it must have just been a little line of sight issue. Or one of these snakes was still locked on, maybe. Taking one for the team there with the old kobold to the face. No real build-up anywhere on any of the walls or anything, so that's a good thing. All right, and there we go. Let's get those upgraded. Slap a few upgrades on there. Let's get that obelisk fully jacked. And I think that'll be pretty good. Let's just let it fly here. We got our dive bombers, dive bombing flyers rolling out, so we want to be conscious of that. This objective, too, you know, we've got all these defenses over here. You do have to be cautious of that objective with these dive bombers, though. Sand Viper down. Oh, it's the dive bombers. The Cobalt flyers are dive bombing into to our stuff over here. Now we can leave that, or we can do something about it. Decisions. Any of the Cobalt runners, too, the Splody boys on the ground that run around and blow up on the wall are going to hit those things, too. Not enough juice. A little bit of wall damage, but nothing too terrible there. Start a Skelly slap fight. All right, now what do we want to do? Part of me wants to just throw it down right here. I guess let's do that. And all right, wave 4. Let's let it fly here. Oh, here comes the big flyer push here. No dive bombers in there. The no dive bombers definitely helps a ton. Once we get some shards and we're not losing our appeasement so fast, that will be quite nice. We'll be able to keep our movement speed and everything going. The Mystic is a zoomer once you get shards and once you have the ability to keep the appeasement full. She can definitely get around the map. That is for certain. Gotta just wait out all these skellies here. We got more flyers coming out down on the other side, but I think I want to worry about these close ones. Yeah, it looks like they're all good. Took a little bit of wall damage, but nothing too bad. So pretty smooth sailing altogether here. All right, one more wave. And now we finally get a little boss action. Gonna have an ogre rolling out on this one. And there it is. Let's just go ahead and get this ogre out of the way. Very nice. And we get a Dark Torment going in the lane too for getting that kill with the dagger. Here come the flyers. All right, looks like, well, the first round of flyers is down anyway. I think we're going to have, I think we're getting to the point. We've got a destruction and a defense rate shard now. I mean, all we're missing now really is some range. Now, there are, additionally, there will be more shards that come into the mix for the Mystic. But right now, as far as the basics go, we've got rate, we got power. We're missing some range, and that's really about it. But adding the destruction and defense rate are definitely a huge difference. Stuff is getting burned out a little bit more readily, and not so, you know, not so much of wall build-up every map. Let's see what we got over here. Javelin throwers. We got another Splody boy. Get them all out of the way. And just about there. Hopefully we see some good loot off this one. There's some items on the ground. Got a water dagger. There's some hero damage gloves. We might end up getting a piece or two. Let's go ahead and we'll auto-collect everything up. And let's go check out the loot. Alright, so we got no real standouts. 1,500 health on a wall. Looks like our old wall relic is a little bit better. We got a couple of shards here. Some hero health. I think I'll stick with that earth chip there. We get the single chip in the mix, which won't apply to that weapon. But it is a bunch of hero damage that we wouldn't have. Doesn't look like we have much of anything. Let's see, we got shard number 1 is getting scrapped, and shard number 2 is getting scrapped. So no luck at all on shards so far. You see we've got a worm scarf and a retribution, and then drenching strikes are the only usable hero shards we've got so far. Of course, we're banking on that destruction and defense rate for the defenses though. But anyway, no loot that time around, but this is a short zone, so we'll get another 150 gems really quick just by completing one more map, which is pretty awesome. But that will do it for this one. So thanks an absolute ton for swinging by. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon.